All right, this is the review for quiz number 12 on some microphone techniques. Okay, the first thing to say about microphone techniques is the closer you put the mic to the sound source, whether it's a singer or a guitar or a didgeridoo, right? The closer you get to that sound source, the less reverb you're going to hear, the less you hear the sound bouncing around the room, okay? That makes sense if you think about it. The singer is going to hold the mic closer to his mouth or her mouth, right? And you hear less of the room around, okay? And then when they scream, they hold it farther away, and you hear more of the reverb. That work? I don't think so. But I hope you get the idea. Okay, now stereo mic techniques. We got a few that we're going to talk about today. The first is called spaced pair, and that's where you put one on one side and one on the other, right? The left and the right, and they're going to pick up the sound of whatever is around them, okay? So it looks a little like that, spaced pair. Left is over on the left, the right is over on the right. And I used to use these all the time on the overheads for my drums. It gave me a nice wide picture, a nice stereo spread. But me personally, for some reason, I always got a lot of phase issues. And sometimes I could correct them, and sometimes I couldn't. And I would correct it for the snare drum, and then maybe it would be bad for the toms. So I stopped using that. And now I like to use what's called an XY stereo pair. And that's where the two microphones are coincident, is the term. They're right on top of each other, but at a 90-degree angle. In fact, we even have a microphone downstairs, the NT4, that's set up like that already. It's one microphone, but it's got two diaphragms. It's set up at a 90-degree angle. And if you've seen me mic up drums, I probably used that as the overhead because it's quick and easy for me to just put it up there. It's a stereo mic. It's already at 90 degrees. Put it over top of the set, and I just keep going. Okay, but yeah, so that picture looks more like this, right? Two microphones in the same place at the 90-degree angle. Excuse me. The interesting thing about this is now, look at this. This microphone on this side is pointed this way, so it's going to pick up the right side even though it's on the left side, right? This one's on the right side, but it's pointed toward the left side. So make sure you know that when you're panning it where you want it to go. Okay. The next thing is the 3-to-1 rule. Okay, the 3-to-1 rule basically just says that if you've got two microphones, the second microphone should be more than 3 times the distance away. Again, we might have a close mic on a snare drum and then an overhead. Okay, if for some reason you put your close mic 1 foot away from the snare drum, which is too far, by the way, but if you put it 1 foot away, then your overhead needs to be at least 3 feet away. The thinking being that the sound is going to be then 9 dB lower, and then you could mix it out if you needed to, or that the phase issues should not be as bad. You should be on to a different wavelength by the time it gets to the second microphone. Okay, good. And then the last thing we're going to talk about are the Blum line technique. So it's very close to the XY, but we're going to use figure-8 polar patterns, and it turns out to be really cool because now with a figure-8 polar pattern at that 90 degrees, you're picking up what's in front of you on the left, but what's behind you on the right. And then the opposite microphone is going to do the opposite thing, right? It will pick up the right in front of you and the left in the back. So where you position it is you're essentially choosing how much reverb you're going to get and how much of the direct signal. Okay, so that was quiz number 12. Thank you very much.